Howdy, guys. Welcome back to the Physique Academy podcast. Yes, sir. This is the podcast where we talk all things training, nutrition, and lifestyle. And now, today, I am joined by a very experienced online coach who has had over 10 years of experience in the fitness industry. He has done a sports and exercise science undergrad degree, like myself, done a master's in physiology, and is a conditioning / CrossFit expert and specialist. It's Kris Aldred, everybody. Yes, sir. What we saying, brother?
All good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Thank you for coming down, mate, and joining me today. I mean, it's actually Thanksgiving today, isn't it? So
it's actually Thanksgiving today, yeah.
Yeah. So for all our US guys, I know this will come out after, but happy Thanksgiving.
Celebrating themselves today.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I've had a lot of messages actually. From guys that I work with talking about like they're stressing themselves out a little bit. I just said, look, bro, it's once a year. It's not going to derail you completely. It's not going to completely throw your train off the rails, you know. So
that one day's not. Like that one meal's not. Generally, it's one meal. You don't have Thanksgiving. It's like a day, but most people have like one meal with a family, whether it's afternoon, whether it's late evening time. That's the time that people do it, and having that one meal, it's not going to throw you off. It's just having the principles in place to get back on track or plan beforehand as well. Like if you put those pieces together, then you'll be fine through it. And you might jump up in weight for a day, but if you get back on track fast, you'll be fine 2 or 3 days later. Just
like Christmas Day, I had a client message me today, actually. I didn't realise all the gyms closed. Like it's Christmas Day. He went, yeah, my gym's closed. What do you want me to do? I was like, shit, I'm going to have to like schedule some like bodyweight stuff.
Yeah, bodyweight session. Bodyweight session, get out steps. Like you're spending a lot of time with family, I think. So I always, especially guys that are on a fitness journey, like they're used to going out doing steps. They're used to going out up in their activity level, whether it is going to the gym, whether it's going for a run. So can you do any of those activities? Gym, probably not. Have they got home gym? Some people do, some people don't. Some people are lucky that they can go and do a gym session. Other people, can they go out and do a run? Which some people can do, some people can't. But if not, most people can do steps. Somewhere in the world, you can generally do steps, especially in the US. There's places to go for a walk, which you can do. Can you go and get 10, 12,000 steps done before you actually go and have that meal? And get your family out with you. Get them out, take them out for a walk, get a coffee and go for a walk. Have a chat, have a conversation. But instead of you sat around picking at the sweets, picking at the nibbles, picking at whatever's on offer, like the hors d'oeuvres before you have the Thanksgiving dinner, go and be active, go for a walk, get out in nature for a little bit, and explore that your surrounding area.
Sorry, I interrupted you then. You were on a roll.
I was on a roll. I was flying.
I was going to say, like, people overeat and overdrink. We're out of boredom as well.
Yeah, they do, yeah. And because you sat there, you're talking, and it's just there. You have that reach that, like, we've got coffee here right now, and I'm going to keep reaching for it just because I know it's there. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't necessarily need a cup of coffee, but I just know it's there. So I will keep.
We look after our guests.
Yeah. So I will keep reaching for it, but in terms of like going out, again, it gets you out, it gets you moving, it gets you active, and also you're actually helping the people that you're with, because they might not be on a fitness journey, but you're saving themselves as well. They're getting out, they're getting active, and you're helping to, again, help them on their journey that they might not even started. Or if you've got kids, like you're taking the kids out, you're getting them into the habits sooner, that this is what we do before we go have big meals. This is what we do when we spend time as a family. We are active, we are social as well, but we're not just sat around doing nothing.
I mean, for any US guys, I know this is going to be after Thanksgiving, but for Thanksgivings in the future or Christmas Day, take note. Anyway, we've jumped straight in, mate. We've jumped straight in with all the wisdom, mate, and all the knowledge and all the tips. I want to take it back, bro, because there's going to be some people that are watching this podcast that don't know who Kris Aldred is, mate. So let's have a bit of a backstory, mate. Getting you into coaching, PT coaching, because you've had over 10 years of experience, bro.
So coaching wise, I think it started when I was like in high school, and I had a few injuries, like playing football, soccer for the American guys, playing rugby for my school. I ended up breaking my femur, which is the biggest bone in your body, one of the hardest ones to break, just above my knee. Ended up going through surgery, getting rehab, coming back, and then that was fine until I did my cartilage in the same knee, which kind of they said was probably going to happen, but they didn't want to do an operation in case it didn't happen. Kind of for an operation for nothing. Like kind of locked my leg straight. So when I kicked a football, so then I had to have that. Kind of, what's the word? Like a meniscectomy, it's called. It's where they just tidy it up. So healed that and started playing again in college. Kept going. Had another one It just kept coming back, and I was always interested in like training side of things. Like I've been going to the gym since I was like 14. You could get a membership at the local leisure centre in off-peak hours. Then you could go properly when you were 16. I was kind of on and off, and then going to university, did the same thing. Like I wanted to go for training, go for learning about the human body and stuff. So
same as me.
I ended up doing sport and exercise science. Got a degree in that. Really enjoyed it. Got a first class honours degree. So at UCLan, where I went in Preston, you basically got a master's paid for if you got a first class degree.
Did you? That's sick. I never got that at Lancaster.
They gave you a scholarship to do a master's, so you had like 2 years to take it up, so why not just do it straight away? So did a master's degree at the same time. Whilst I was doing that, in my third year I ended up on 2 placements, one in rugby league and one with Wigan Warriors, and one with Bolton Wanderers Football Club at their academy. And I ended up working with Bolton Wanderers whilst I was doing my master's degree, and then from there just progressed from finishing my master's degree, working with the academy, and then from the academy got asked doing more like the sports science support rather than anything else. So it was more like looking at testing data, looking at like the GPS that was just coming in at the time, and then coaching some of the youth academy in their gym sessions in an evening. So again, developing players, athletes that have not really started to learn how to be in the gym. So actually teaching them how to be in the gym, teaching them how to move, teaching them how to move effectively. Kind of like we do with guys now, like when guys have not been in the gym for 10, 20 years, have never touched that foot in a gym, like getting them back to basics or getting down to those basics and the main movement patterns like squatting, hinging, pressing, pulling, and just building up the capacity from there before you start throwing out these exercises that you see online, like people doing power cleans and squat cleans and snatches and stuff. That's not where you start. You've got to come all the way back and start with the basic fundamental patterns, really. So yeah, coaching that, and then ended up at the first team level doing sports science support, doing rehab support, doing gym-based support, and then stayed there for a number of years until leaving, and then doing my own thing into like personal training. Took a little bit of a break, did a little bit of engineering for a little bit, because my dad and my brother are both engineers.
I didn't know that.
Did that for a little bit. Well, it wasn't really for me. I'm more active. I don't like sitting at a desk. I know we sat down right now, but like sitting there all day, being there all day, being confined.
I was going to say, well, I have to do a standing desk in the future. We'll be walking.
I've got a standing desk. So I do my check-ins on a standing desk.
Should have brought it, bro. Yeah. You'd be up there, I'd be down here.
Yeah, I've got a standing desk. My clients see me on my standing desk, giving the energy, giving the drive when I'm doing my check-ins. But yeah, and then decided I need to go back into personal training. So I did some personal training, then got a chance from George, speaking to the team, and then getting asked to, do you want to come and join Physique Academy and start helping guys all over the world, and not look back since.
It's the reach, isn't it? It's like coaching guys from all over the world. That's like one of the main passions in it for us.
Yeah,
like
100%.
So like it's just expands your reach outside of Bolton and Chorley.
Yeah.
You know, like around the northwest.
Yeah, it does. It expands your reach, and you get to meet guys that you would not necessarily meet. You get to learn about different environments, like different cultures. Like you think the US and the UK are very similar, but they're totally different in other aspects.
Yeah.
Like in terms of food choices, in terms of like mentality, in terms of drive, and then in terms of like the different holidays that they've got. Like obviously Thanksgiving, we don't even do it. Like you would mention Thanksgiving to a UK client, they wouldn't really know what you're talking about unless they've watched a lot of American TV. Whereas Thanksgiving in America is massive. Like clients are going all back home, even just for a day. They're flying halfway across the actual country to just go and visit the parents or family, to then fly back and go back to work. It's a totally different concept that we don't have here unless it's Christmas time, but then they have Christmas as well.
Yeah. Going back to like obviously now coaching at Physique, do you think? Well, my question would be, do you think you would have always been like leaning into online coaching? Like, could you, what else would you have done with maybe like your career if you maybe didn't have that conversation with George and didn't join Physique Academy?
It would have been coaching, been coaching. Still whether it had been online coaching, I probably would have looked to have gone online anyway. Yeah. But obviously with a business like Physique, it does give me that bit bigger reach and give me that bigger access, which is fantastic. It's what I love about it. And also having the team around you as well. Like there's, the 15 plus coaches maybe, and like all those coaches support each other. Like if I don't know something, or if say you didn't know something, or one of the other coaches didn't know something, there's another 15 coaches to ask. So like,
yeah, of course.
Like one client might be coached by one client might be coached by one coach, for example, but equally they kind of technically supported by 15 coaches and the entire wider team. Because I know if any coach reached out to me to ask a question or wanted some support with something,
like CrossFit.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, there, this is what you should do. Try and do this, or try and introduce this way, or have you thought about thinking about this? And then also we have the guys that the head coaches that obviously have the meetings with the other coaches and make sure everything's okay. Ask them, give them support, give them advice, and you're constantly looking to evolve and get better, like all the time. And
I think that's the beautiful thing, isn't it? We've all come from different backgrounds, but we've all led to the same place, and we've all got different expertise. Like a lot of us, I know, like say like me, Adam, Tyler, more like hypertrophy bodybuilding, have had like coaches with a lot of triathlon and experience. So I've had like clients that have jumped on calls with other coaches to talk about that sort of stuff, you know, because again, if like there's no point in me bullshitting. No. if I've never done a triathlon, I'm not gonna, you know, be the best person to go and speak to, but that's just being real, isn't it?
Yeah, and I say you gotta learn and know what your strengths are and stuff. Like my strengths are, I would never say that I could do a photo shoot prep or a bodybuilding show prep for someone, because it's not my area of expertise. But I can help someone lose weight. I can help someone get cut, get into a shredded shape like we do at Physique Academy. But equally, I can help people perform. Like I've coached clients through, again, training for different competitions, whether high rocks competitions, guys knocking minutes, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes off the high rocks times, like guys that are doing marathons, half marathons, like triathlons. I've had a guy do 2 Ironmans with me. Like he'd never done one before and decided he wanted to do one. So we did an Ironman in his home country, and I've got a photo of him running across the finish line with the Mexican flag because he's Mexican. That's absolutely amazing. like I've had like a 56-year-old client recently who had
marathon.
Half marathon. He'd not run pretty much since high school, and he said, "What do you think about whether I could do a run?" Like he was like, "I can probably run a mile at best at the moment, and if I run outside, it hurts my knees." So we literally pulled it all back. We started running on a treadmill. We started building up his pace, his tolerance, adding in some outside runs, and we kind of like mapped out a program where he wanted to do this half marathon, and we think we had like 18 weeks to do it. And it was like, can we build out a program to get you from running from virtually 0 to 18? Can you get to run it? And we did it, and he ran his first ever half marathon, New York half marathon. Did it in 2 hours 30. Fantastic. First he'd ever done, and at 56, great.
Never ran before either.
Never ran before. Coming off losing over 30 pounds in body weight as well.
That would have helped.
That helps massively. And then like we got on a call after it, and you could see that he'd got that like bug, that little bit of a drive and that little bit of enthusiasm around it. And it was like,
what's next?
Yeah, it was like, do you think I can do it in 2 hours 15? It was like, can I take 15 minutes off it? And we were like, yeah, no problem. So I was like, so these, like we went through it, like these are the times of where you are now. Like this is what your every single split was. Like to run it in like 2 hours 15, we need to hit this pace. So how do we do that? So we planned it out. So we did like, obviously you got like your longer runs, like your more interval based runs, like then we had some like race pace style runs. Then we just had some general just easy steady runs, and we just built that. And he was doing like 3 runs a week. And we had another, it was kind of like funny that it was another like 18-week block. Or it might have been slightly shorter at 17 weeks. This next block, it ended up fitting in between the 2 half marathons. And he went and did it, and we had a target of him running at a certain pace and to hit 2 hours 15. And he ended up knocking 20 minutes off and doing it in 2 hours and 10. Right. So that was a massive change, a massive jump. So he knocked 20 minutes off his time in that 6-month period whilst still losing weight, whilst traveling the world for his job. Like he doesn't sit, he's not a guy that just goes to work, comes home. Like he travels the world. He flies to, like he's based in the US. He flies to Thailand. He flies to the UK. He flies to Europe. Like it's not just, easy for him. It's like, it doesn't just, he has to work at it and make sure it's done. He had an illness in the middle of that where we'd lost a week of training pretty much, because again, if you get a chest infection, you're not going to be doing those fast runs really. It's not really going to help. But
just set you back in it.
Yeah, absolutely smashed it out. And now we've got half marathon number 3 coming up next year.
What's his name?
Adam.
Shout out Adam.
Yeah. We got the half marathon next year to break the 2 hour mark. head into what is going to be the New York City.
He set the foundation now, so he knows what his capabilities are, and like
Exactly.
And now it's like you're laying out the expectation, for going forward. I actually had a client this past weekend as well, who did the half. Lucas, and he came from like a powerlifting background. Again, it's very, very similar. Had never ran in his life. Now he's done 2 high roxes. He's done a full marathon, and then this half marathon he raised like $1,300 for cancer research. And as well, when I was like going over his splits with him, like targeting his run, because he got like 1 hour and 40-ish minutes last time. I've targeted a pace for him for like 7 minutes 37 that he needs to hit to beat like for his targeted time, and he did it in like his average pace was like around 7 minutes, so he's absolutely like
he's got that adrenaline buzz flying. He's going for it.
But I could see that in the weeks when I was looking at his data on his watch and stuff. I could see his paces. I was like, yeah, he's good. I was like, we need to up the standards, bro. We need to up the expectancy here.
Gotta do it. Like I said, if you're excelling and you're pushing it, then
yes, sir.
Take that advantage of it whilst you can.
Yeah, man. Do you think most of your clients are fat loss? Like, or would you say you've got more guys CrossFit, performance, that sort of thing? I mean, they both go hand in hand, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like,
I'd
the main
say,
focus.
I wouldn't have said necessarily, I don't have many, like, what you say is true CrossFit clients.
Right, yeah.
I would have more functional fitness clients.
Yeah.
So whether they might not do, like, some of the higher gymnastic skill stuff that CrossFit does, but we do some functional fitness stuff. So we'll use, like, EMOMs, Metcons, as kind of, like, conditioning aspects for them to improve their overall health, like cardiovascular health, general functional health, like energy system development. We'll use that type of training. We'll stick to probably more like functional movements as well in their actual training rather than isolated machines necessarily. So I do have more clients that are more programmed that way and more training that way, but equally I do have some clients that are more, like say, general, just pure fat loss. But you might have a guy that comes to the program that says, this is what I want to do, this is how I want to train. But looking at them then, you might think, well, we need to lose some weight first. Like, we can start doing some of the movement patterns, but if I start giving you we start using some more intense sort of the training that you've seen online that you want to do, that you've told me you want to do, we're going to have to come back from that. We're going to have to go easy. We might have to be doing easier EMOMs or taking down the intensity and stuff like that. And it might not seem that level, but we will get you there. And then just teaching them to program how you would progress them to there and what we're going to do to get them there. And then they can see that step-by-step vision, just like we would do in any part of the program. Like, this is your weight right now. Where do you want to get to? Where do we want to get you to? How are we going to get you there? What's the processes? Like, we roadmap it out. We plan it all out. We look at holidays. We look at events. We look at work travel, anything that might come up. And then we can, again, create that vision and say, this is what it possibly is going to look like. Because, again, you can't use the word, this is what it's going to look like. Because everyone...
Things adapt and change.
Things adapt and change. Like, stuff comes up, but it gives you that focal point to say, right, this is the idea. This is where we want to get to. This is the perfect vision. Let's see how close we can get to it. And we will adapt it as we go, just like you would do a training program. Like, I want to bench 100 kilos. I can only bench 50 kilos. We ain't just going to go, let's get 100 kilos on there and see what you can do. Like, staffed, we have to say, right, can we get 60? Right, we've ticked that box. Can we get to 70? Can we tick that box? And can we work our way up?
Having a visual representation always helps as well. That's why, like, we've recently implemented the road mapping document, and that's like such a good tool just for if we're making comments and changes. Like, because I might have made a change to someone's nutrition 4 to 6 weeks ago, but if it's not noted down and they can't see that, again, they can't actually see the journey from where they've started out at in terms of like calories and macros and stuff, or steps and cardio, and then if bits and bobs have been changing, so it's like an educational process for them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's an educational process. It's a step-by-step tool as well that you can use. And again, I always get my clients to agree to, like, this is what we're doing, these are the changes, and then we can say, like, this is what we agreed to, this is the plan that we created, this is the results. And at the end of the day, if we map something out and we telling clients to do something, it's because we believe as coaches from our experience that it's going to work. And if they decide not to do it, or they decide to take a different avenue, then that's on them. That's their choice. Like, if you do not stick to your calories and you go over your calories, like, you are probably not going to lose weight, because that's generally what it dictates to. Or if you start under eating too much and your strength starts to suffer and your body size starts to change or your muscle size starts to reduce because you've drastically started under eating because you've seen that you've lost weight on the calories that you set at, and you think, actually, I can make it happen faster if I take another 500 calories away. I just won't tell my coach. Most people find out. We will find out, and you'll see where it starts to suffer.
Well, it's more just a case of things start to not add up.
Yeah, things start to change.
Check, cardio check, strength training check, nutrition looks perfect, but the weight's still the same. What's going wrong here?
Yeah, it's not adding up. Or feeling really weak in the gym. What did you eat? I didn't have breakfast yesterday or lunch. I just had my evening meal. Why?
Yeah. Well, I always try and help my clients, just fully understand the numbers. It's just it's a numbers game, innit? This is your maintenance calories. If you're eating this amount of calories, you'll be in a 500 calorie deficit. Multiply that across the week. That's already just over a pound at 3,500 calories. Then that's being in a 3,500 calorie deficit for the entire week. But that's obviously just steps. Once you factor, okay, you're aiming for 2,000 calories of cardio across the week, all of a sudden, you're coming up to 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds across the week. And then once you sort of grasp that in the head, so that you can actually say, right, I've done the maths here, I've done the working out for you. Yeah. I've not just plucked this number out of thin air. I've actually done calculations. Then it helps. Again, it's education for them. It helps them understand. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, it's, like I say, it's basic mapping it out on maths. Like, again, there are lots of nuances that you can add into there, but for most people, that's what they want. They just want the simple explanation to say, right, this is what you're doing. This is how I get from A to B. There's your calories. Let's hit them. Let's hit your macros. There's your protein. There's your carbs. There's your fats. Now, protein is generally based off the individual's body weight. That's what research says, depending on what value you want to pick, and depending on what phase the client is in as well, whether they're like muscle building, whether they're weight loss. Like, counterintuitively, most people in a weight loss phase have more protein than an actual muscle building phase, simply for how the body regulates protein and satiety wise, and also there's extra calories in the gym, carbohydrates wise, fats wise, from training when you are muscle building. And then also you've got making sure, can we hit the carbohydrates? Can we hit the fats? Like, fats and carbohydrates, depending on individual, you can alter them around a little bit, find out what works for the clients. But generally, you find that most people sit in that same ballpark. I don't know if you've ever seen a bell curve. Most people sit on that bell curve. You very rarely get clients that sit either side of that, but you might get one or two.
How do you, obviously, with because obviously we focus a lot on performance, don't you? We want to see strength increasing. Like, if you're doing starting to implement maybe CrossFit movements or conditioning as well, how do you manipulate the numbers for someone's nutrition? Do you give them more carbohydrates to fuel the performance, even though they're in a deficit, or would you give them maybe a bit of more food, bit of a less of a deficit, if they're like focusing heavily on conditioning performance? Because otherwise they might fatigue. The recovery will be shite.
Yeah. So generally, I'll have them probably a little bit more carbohydrate based, especially if it's more intense conditioning style stuff. Any high level output stuff, it's all carbohydrate based fuel. Like, high heart rate is carbohydrate as a fuel. Like, you're not going to be using body fat as a fuel much. That's more like your zone 2 easy sort of training, which most people say they do, but most people actually can't do. And for most people,
hard.
And for most people, like, for the everyday individual, I don't really think it's needed, because you're not really doing that much volume anyway. Your training's not that hard, it's not that high. Like, the intensity work that you're doing isn't true. Like, the weightlifting isn't high intensity work. It's just weightlifting. Like, the runs that you're doing, is that enough capacity for you to say, actually, I actually need to do an extra bit of zone 2 here? Or would you be better just going for a run in general and not really noticing your heart rate? Like, it depends on the individual. It depends what they're training for. But for me, like, making sure that the high intensity sessions, they are fueled by carbohydrates. Like, I will program easy runs for clients, for get your cardio done, get it done in the morning. Like, low carbohydrate, low muscle glycogen, low liver glycogen. Let's get the extra cardio burn there. But if you are going to a lifting session, strength session, or you're going to, for example, like a conditioning sort of workout, whether a client might be training for a high rocks, for example, then I'll be like, we need some fuel beforehand, because we want to maximize the potential in that workout. I want to see your numbers excel and grow. And if we are under fuel in that workout, then you're going there. You are getting some benefit, but we're cutting that benefit short. We're like holding back on your capacity, where we want to maximize your capacity. And if we are having that food beforehand, that's only going to be used there. Your body's just going to, especially like fast digesting carbohydrates, like, they're going to be utilized in that session. They're going to provide the energy and the fuel for that session. So they're going to be used in that session. Banana, like even like a pre-workout fuel, like depending on which ones they are. Again, bagel and honey, for example, peanut butter and a bagel, just to give you that boost for that session. And then afterwards as well, allocating more of a higher carbohydrate meal afterwards around that training session.
People get really, if they do anything high intensity, people get hungry after.
Very hungry after, So getting that carbohydrate in, getting that protein in after. Like if you look at some of the research, having a combination of protein and carbohydrate actually helps the carbohydrate get into the muscle tissue and replenish those muscle glycogen stores faster. So getting that like around about 1.2 grams a kilo in, especially after an intense session of carbohydrates across that hour, making sure that's...
Do any clients take like intracarbs?
It depends on the length of the session.
Yeah.
Like if I'm fueling a client before the session and then I don't really like, and they've got an hour session, most people can survive, do an hour. Like you're in the gym for an hour, like muscle glycogen stores, 45 to 90 minutes, generally depending on the individual, the size of the individual, and also how depleted they are. You probably can like do that. Like I've run a half marathon out, like straight up getting out of bed. Do you know what I mean? Like, before in the past. Like, so it's like, it is just about what you can do. Some people get reliant on it and think that's what's giving them their edge. Like, again, it depends on you as a coach, as an individual, I think, and how you know the actual client themselves.
Yes, and how they're going to respond effectively to it.
Yeah. And again, some people, like, if I have a client that struggles to eat before they might necessarily train, for example, or they might struggle to eat early in the morning, and then they are going to a training session, I would go for more like liquid and intra carbs. Yeah. Because they're absorbed a lot easier, they're utilized a lot easier, and again, you can drip feed them throughout the session. But again, if you've got a 45-minute session, if you've got a shorter session, I don't really think it's necessarily, not if you're eating before.
Sorry.
Not if you're eating beforehand, and not if you're like, you've got the rest of your nutrition correct. If you are going doing a 45-minute gym session, fine. If you're doing an hour and a half gym session, 90-minute gym session, and you're properly cranking the weights like some of these guys do, then fine. Have your intra carbs because you are probably going to utilize it well.
I suppose, that it relates a bit to what I was speaking about with AJ on the last podcast as well, because that's where he can come important for people's gut and digestion. Again, if for things like fast releasing carbs, it doesn't always agree with everybody.
No, it doesn't know.
But
especially the more processed ones, like I do find things like honey is quite generically tolerated quite well. Yeah. But when you say like, what do I put my honey on? And you're like, I don't really like eat like bread and stuff to react. The fast like carbs there, it reacts negatively to people before the gym, then that's when you have to start thinking, what else can I use?
It's basically, as everyone knows, it's subjective to
I have a client that eats sweet potato before he goes to the gym.
Really?
Makes sweet potatoes and puts honey on it,
that actually sounds quite nice.
Yeah, it actually sounds good.
Bro.
Yeah, sweet potato and honey, actually, he just might make sweet potato and honey before he goes to trains.
I might have to give that a go, bro.
This is a carbohydrate combination. Sometimes he says he puts...
It's a good mix, to be fair. It's like a mix of complex and simple, Yeah. Nice.
Firing him up for the gym. I've not tried it. I can do cereal, like literally cereal. Your standard childish cereal, like Rice Krispies, Cocoa Pops.
You're a morning trainer, though, aren't you? So that's like a breakfast coming into your training. Mostly. Are you not? No.
I'm both. I do train twice a day, quite a few days. So morning sessions, depending on what it is normally, if it's early morning, it's generally like more of a liquid base. So it's like coffee with sugar in it, which I don't normally have, just to get the sugar in, and maybe a banana or something, just for those simple fast carbohydrates, or like some workout fuel. And then, or if it's just a run, then I will literally just go for a run. Like, again, if it's CrossFit or functional fitness, like Metcon style work, then get the sugars in, get the carbs in. If it's going for a run, I'm just going for a run. I'm just going to do it fasted. And then evenings training, it's normally for me like weightlifting, skill work.
I was going to say, more like hypertrophy stuff.
Intensity work. That is when I'm using the fuel that I've had through my day, through my regular breakfast, my lunch, and then I'll probably have a top up before I go and do that session, whether it is, I said, some cereal, whether it's some oats and honey, whether it's, again, another banana, workout fuel. It depends on the actual day.
In terms of recovery, obviously amino acids, protein, that's all important, but I mean more from like an expenditure point of view, working out. like if you're training twice a day, obviously, it's like you wouldn't want to train two muscle groups to like 2 days in a row. Do you know what I mean? Like
Not to fatigue, no.
But if you are, say, doing like a push workout, if you've just say you've got a push workout later on, would you tailor your conditioning work to utilize those muscle groups, say like in the morning, if you're doing it like that?
No, I probably wouldn't. No, the conditioning work is more like energy system development and like movement patterns. So it's not necessarily like this is solely a pull pattern, this is solely a push pattern. Like it might have some elements in it. So for example, if you did a burpee, it's technically a press up jumping back onto your feet, but then you stand up using your legs, so it's a part of a squat pattern. If you did a power clean, like you do a clean from the floor, which is legs, but then also your upper body's working, your back's working, your chest's working, utilizing multiple different body parts at once. And if you're just doing an erg session, for example, like if you use the ski erg, you probably use more light development.
That's not what I was referring to. Like if I'm programming for a client, you know, I would try and think about their recovery, because they say if they're doing like, you know, the body comp hypertrophy stuff, like push pull legs, they could say if they're doing like a conditioning day on their push day and they're doing like a finisher after the resistance training sessions. I mean,
I would tailor it more towards like that type of movement pattern.
Like
so
ski erg.
It's more upper body lats based. Yeah. It's also a bit more hinge based if you've done deadlifts and glutes, because how you're supposed to do the pattern. And then rowing's probably more legs, biking's probably more legs. There isn't one that I would say is necessarily push based as such. Not that I can think of anyway. Not for the main ones. Assault bike, you could technically say you push with your arms, but it's questionable.
Yeah, but if you say like if you're doing like an EMOM or an AMRAP and you're doing like
if it's a finisher, I'd try and tailor it more towards the actual session itself. And the same with like some of the movement patterns, I would try and mimic similar motions and patterns with it.
Get you. Yeah, that was something I wanted to go over that.
Sometimes I'll use the EMOMs and like conditioning workouts as the warm-up, or not necessarily the warm-up, but just to get them fired up at the start.
Right.
Just because one, it gets the blood flow going, and two, it gets all the movement patterns going. And also you are working those sort of movements, such as like, for example, dumbbell snatches, such as burpees, such as the fast explosive movements, or they're designed to be fast explosive movements. Like they're not designed to be slow, like power cleans, snatches, box jumps. All those movements are fast movements. So if you do a full session before it, all those movements are now limited because you fatigued and drained those muscles.
Of course,
So you're now training them to be slow, and you're actually creating a slower movement pattern than you would do if you.
I suppose it depends on what you want to prioritize.
Yeah, it depends what you're getting, what you want to prioritize.
Yeah, my personal preference is I like to feel explosive and powerful in
the lifts.
Yeah. So I like doing, you know, more of the endurance stuff at the end. That's just me personally. But then obviously, you know, say like if you've got push-ups, for example, in that, and you've done bench press earlier on in your session, obviously you're going to be more fatigued, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah. But again, I just sometimes I'll program as the warm up for the session like a little EMOM. But it won't be as intense as like a finishing EMOM. It might be just like 10 calories, 10 air squats, 10 push-ups. Yeah. And that gets you going for a full body session. Or you might do 10 calories on an assault bike, 10 like push-ups, like 10 shoulder taps, and then like 10 like walkouts. You might say like 3 rounds of that. And that's a great warm-up, but you've kind of got some functional fitness element part of it. You've got the heart rate going as well, so you've kind of done a great warm-up before you go into that session. You've not really fatigued your body very much either. Yeah. Speaking of like functional fitness, have you got any comps coming up? Not at present, no. Not myself. We were looking at doing the Arnold Fitness Games in Birmingham. Myself, Zane and Sam. The infamous trio. Zane is coming back from a back injury though, so he doesn't think the qualifiers have started, and the first workout is 3 clean and jerks, and you accumulate your maximal total of that. So say you did 100, 120, 140, you'd add those together, and 1 rep of each, and then it's you get like a 2-minute rest, and then it's for the rest. You've got like 8 minutes to do 60 clean and jerks at 60 kilos. Zane's coming back from a back injury. It's not really the best workout for him to go and do. And mate, he said on the podcast actually where he wouldn't shut up about it. Exactly, yeah. So sorry, bro. But but I'm spoken to Sam. We might be doing one in May called the Rainhill Trials Pairs one, which is not far away from us. So that is probably the first one. Probably would like to do another High Rocks. Whether I do a solo one, whether I do a pairs one again, I don't know. Just have you done a solo? I've done an open solo. I've done pro mixed double, pro same-sex doubles. I've done open same-sex, and I've done open mixed sex. So I'm ticking them all off.
I know, like, you had correct me if I'm wrong, you had a bit of a problem with your knee. That's why you stopped running for a while.
Yeah, I've like I said, I spoke about at the start. I've had quite a few knee operations. I think I've had 5 knee operations in total. So I've nearly got a season's pass, I think, for surgery. So broken leg, cartilage, ACL on my other knee. It adds up. So
have you got more into high rocks now? Because I remember a while back on a meeting you'd said, well, like you were held back a little bit with like the running, weren't you? Because all of the movement patterns, the ski, the row, that's all stuff that's part of your regular routine. But the running was a little bit more difficult. Yeah,
the running, it's not part of my schedule. I do probably 2 runs a week at present. Like,
there's only 2 in a tempo threshold.
I'd probably both easy runs really. Like, I will try and make one of them a tempo or a threshold sort of run or interval based run. Do I always do it? No. Reason being, it's not a priority. I think I'm just keeping the running capacity there rather than actually necessarily working at it. If I did book on a high rocks, the reason I want to book a high rocks is it's going to force me to do that more because I will default to my more preferred style of training, which is obviously the CrossFit style, the functional fitness style, where I'm still relatively fit. I'm just not purely running fit. Like, I will never say I'm going to be a true high rocks athlete. I'm not going to be one of those guys that wants to break the hour mark. Like, if you take a look at Mikey when he goes and does his, he's absolutely flying. I don't want to be that level. I just enjoy doing it. Because maybe I'm slightly psychotic with that, but I enjoy the experience. I enjoy training for something. I enjoy going out and pushing myself to do something. Like, I just signed up for my first high rocks when I did it on a whim. Like, literally, I just said, do you think I can do it? Like, did I think I could do it? I gave myself like 4 weeks. Went and did it. Like, it was horrendous because I've not really practiced the running. But
that was a doubles, was it?
Singles.
It was a singles, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, singles open. I still did it all, smashed it. There was a guy halfway through that was trying to race me, and that just gave me that edge. Just kept like.
I honestly think with high rocks, like especially these days, people have become so freaking competitive with it, bro. Yeah. And like, there's so many more people that are doing them now that are. You know, it's good to have like a time target, but at the end of the day, you're paying a company to go and like
a lot of money as well.
Yeah, earning a lot of money. So just have a laugh. Don't go in there with like putting too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I understand these guys that are like they're now the professional high rocks athletes, like the elite 15 like that. Right, they're the guys that should be focusing on the pure times. And if you are close to getting there, like it's great. But that's like, again, you have elite level footballers that get paid fortunes to do what they do, but you don't like. People go out a weekend and still go and have a laugh and play football or play 5-a-side, 7-a-side. Utilize it as a sport. Go and enjoy it just like you do with a marathon and a half marathon. Get a time, set yourself a time, right? And then try and train to beat it. Like, your only competition there is yourself. Mm-hmm. If you want to compete against your friends, fine, fantastic, compete against your friends. But don't start competing against someone's Instagram highlight reel because they literally, the people that are posting the times on there are the highlight reels. Like, if you see, like, most of the times that come up on my Instagram are like hours, like 59 minutes, 58.
Oh, you're seeing it.
Like, they're the ones that you see, like
fear-mongering people.
Yeah. But if you actually take a look at the, like, again, a bell curve of the high rocks, average time's 90 minutes. It's around that 90 minutes time window for the average time for most people. So that, again, go for it. Enjoy it. Have fun. Do it as a relay because it's great. You can do it as a team of 4. Do it as a pair. Make it more fun. Again, if you want to go as an individual, then it's all on you. But go and have fun. Enjoy it. That's what training and fitness should be about. Anyway. If like in the gym, I enjoy training in the gym. Like, I enjoy lifting weights. Like we trained in New York recently with George and Zane, and we did more bodybuilding. I've not done that style of training for years really, but I can still do the movements. It's not really my style of training, but we were all together as a group. It's fun. Let's go and do it. Let's go and enjoy it. Like, I'll enjoy it all.
Having a laugh, mate. Yeah, and I think we're going back with like high rocks as well. I think because it's labeled like fitness race again, it causes people to sort of think it's like super competitive. But I've seen loads of people on Instagram like that are in the 60s even.
Exactly.
Like gone to do like even like couples. I find that so inspiring.
Yeah, there's like couples do it. I've had clients that have done it with a couple. I've got one of my clients now. He's doing it with his wife in January. So
that's sick.
So he's doing it with his wife. His wife's training for it. He's training for it. They're going to go and get that done, which is absolutely amazing.
Feel sorry for her having to, adhere to those loads, bro.
Yeah,
it's the male loads in mixed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's male loads, but again, you can equally split it, so it's fine. You don't have to you don't have to equally split it. So the only thing you've got to do evenly as a pair is you've got to make sure you both run all the distances. You've got to run everything.
Yeah.
But like, say he could get on the rower and do 800 meters, and she could do 200 meters of 1,000. Do you know what I mean? Or he could do 80 wall balls, and she could only do 20. Like, I'm not being sexist sexist, by the way. Like, they can equally split it 50 and 50.
Yeah.
She can do more. She can do more if she wants to do more. I'm just saying that it's the male weights and generally their strength is slightly there.
That's what I was saying. You know, it's gonna be a lot more difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, the weight, the open weight for men is the pro weight for women.
Yeah,
That's the difference. But so again, you will have women that will do that on their own and do those weights and numbers. Like the skis and the rows stay the same distance. The balls change weight slightly, and the other weights change. But
I've got a client actually at the start of December who's doing a high rock. Shout out Damien. That he's been working towards over like the last 12 weeks. Have you got any other clients doing any other events?
I said I've got 3 doing high roxes recently coming up. I've got one guy that wants to do one, 2 guys that want to do one next year. Just waiting for there's some events still yet to be announced in the US. They're available. They're doing them like Miami, Washington, New York, but the dates aren't fully confirmed yet. Tickets haven't been fully released yet, so they are looking at trying to do those, which will be good.
And they get snapped up like that.
Yeah, got a client doing a half marathon in 2 weeks in China. He's doing that. So it's been a bit disjointed sort of training for him. He's been traveling quite a bit with work, but we're going to go and absolutely crush it anyway. So
nice, man. What about any other client wins, bro, for guys on the program?
No, just transformations, like guys that have, again, we post them online. When we see guys that have done the transformations, you see those are the efforts that the guys put in, and they're absolutely epic. Like I had a client recently, I actually met him in person on our New York trip, and we kind of finished the phase 1 together there, and signed it off together and took his photos together, and I got a chance to train with him as well. So
that's so sick.
That were a great way to like finish phase 1.
Yeah, that in-person interaction as well, doing it together. That's sick.
Yeah. So that was fantastic to like kind of a win. Like I said, I've got clients that have smashed times off the half marathons, guys that have smashed out high roxes. Shout out to Josh, whose wife's just given birth to a kid as well. Like, that's a client win for me. Like, I will celebrate every single moment of my clients' lives. Like, it's not just about the fitness. It could be, again, client giving birth, getting married. Like,
it's caring about you. It's caring about
exactly.
Your clients, mate.
All these little things, like graduation for the kids and stuff like that. Like, one of my clients got into college in the US, amazing. Like, been applied for it, like submitted it, went for interviews and got in there. That's a client win for me. They've won there. The kids won there, like, of the stress that they've been going through to try and do it. Like, I celebrate all of them. Like, it's not just about, like I said, the fitness.
Number on the scale.
Yeah, the number on the scale.
That's the superficial shit, man.
Yeah, the transformation stuff. It's the lifestyle stuff as well. Like I said, my client messaged me saying, I'm going to have to buy some new jeans. That's a client win. Like, I need a new belt. I've asked my wife for a new belt for Christmas, stuff like that. It's like, it's a
metaphorical stuff.
It's a small throwaway comment, but it signifies the change.
Well, I put a post on today actually. I had a client that I had a phone call with yesterday. He's not even on the program, but again, like, we've kept in touch. He's from America. I worked with him for 2 years. He finished his phase 1, and it was really hard hitting, bro. It was like really emotional because this is a guy that became sober from, smashing loads of drugs, drink, lost his dad, went through a relationship breakup, had like a really severe career change. And we were just catching up on the call, and then he said, like, you saved my life, brother. And I nearly left, I was almost in tears, bro. Like, because for someone to say that about like the way that you've sort of maybe handled them, like taken care of them and communicated with them constantly, that just goes to show, you can't put every win on a before and after photo. There's so many other things that can come from building client relationships, and this is why we're passionate about why we do what we do.
Yeah, I think when we do post transformations, I think, that we celebrate those wins, but I do feel like sometimes when you see a client on there, you think amazed because of the transformation that they've gone through, but even the caption doesn't tell the story that you've gone through with that client.
Yeah, because it'd be too long, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be too long. Like, and you wouldn't be able to convey the emotion, like whether they've gone through stressful time with the families, with the work, with themselves, whether they struggled with binge eating at some point. Like, I had a client who was on medication for binge eating, like, and depression when he started with us. Like, he was overweight, and like by the end of it, he didn't want to take the medication anymore. He wasn't taking his antidepressants. He got in the best shape he'd ever been in his life, and he was only a young lad as well. Like going to like graduating, looking to like graduate in college, like looking to see what he wanted to do next in life, and like taking his big steps and trying to push himself. He was training in the gym, he was working hard, he would like doing marathons and stuff like that as well. And to see him try to change and like not be the guy that couldn't walk into like an ice cream place or like a dessert place with his friends because they wanted desserts, and not be able to not get 5 things off the menu and just eat them all, and just be able to say, I'm all right, I'm good, man. Like, oh, I'll just have one.
Yeah, having that like self-awareness,
having that
self-control.
wellness and control, and seeing the growth with him, that was absolutely like incredible. And I again, like, it's not something that you can just put into a caption for Instagram. Like, only I know that journey that he had. Because
you built the relationship with, and I personally think seeing the mental change for me is more full. I mean, both go hand in hand, obviously, both be equal, but the mindset shift and the mental change for me is often more fulfilling and satisfying as a friend, as a coach, than the physical.
Yeah.
After, if you've worked with someone, you know, for over a year plus, it's wild, bro. But I mean, we're coming up to that time of year now as well, where people are starting to slack off. Us in Physique Academy, we call it separation season. Now, how do we think, mate, people can maintain levels of fitness, like coming up to, again, prime example, Thanksgiving. Today, you've got Christmas coming up. It's going dark at like 4 o'clock in the UK. So how can people still like stay on track, you know, when there's more social gatherings, there's more temptation, all that sort of stuff?
Number one, have a plan. You've got to have that plan, that structure. You've got to know where it is that you're heading and what it is that you want to do. Like, you want to know what your goals are, you want to know what your plan is, and you want to also know, like, remembering the reason why you're doing it. Like, what are you doing this for? Why are you here? Like, just because, and again, the people around you are going to want to do their thing, but equally, like, your thing is your thing. Like, if you're getting fit, if you're getting healthy, if you're trying to lose weight, like, it's not the time now to stop. And equally, if you want to start. Like, I say to some of my clients, now is the best time to start, because it's the hardest time to start. So if right now you start and say, right, I've got Thanksgiving, I've got to work through Christmas parties, I've got to work through Christmas Day, the rest of the year is easy.
Yeah, if you can get, that's a really good point, actually. If you can get going now, bro, like that's going to be the hardest part of your fitness journey.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of the year is going to be a breeze.
Exactly. The rest of the year is going to be relatively easy. Like, this is the hardest part of the time in terms of the food that's on offer, what's available, especially around like Western countries, like all the different food, like the parties, everything that's going on. It's the hardest time. So getting a plan, getting a structure, and getting some accountability right now is key. And again, the guys that are with me, like, and obviously with yourself and with the rest of the team, we provide that. We provide that plan and say, right, this is where I want you to get to. Like, this week in my check-ins, December starts next week. I've asked all my clients, like, where do you want to be come January the 1st? Like, what is your goal? Where do you want to be? What weight do you want to be? How many gym sessions do you want to have done? Like, what do you want to have achieved? Like, and what's going to stop you doing that? Like,
it's visualizing it for them, isn't
visualizing it for them, creating that structure, that pathway, and saying, right, these are the times where we're going to eat probably some more food. Before that, what do we do? How do we bank calories? How do we save calories? How do we make smart choices in those situations? And if there's a lot of events that happen together, which is massively the case, like I have a client that is having a Thanksgiving dinner today. He's got an Italian Christmas dinner, an Italian family dinner on Friday. Putting 2 big meals together, how do we plan and create the structure for that? Like, again, it's questioning, like, do we need 3 meals a day on the day after you've had Thanksgiving dinner, and then go and have another big meal? Like, do we need to move things around and chop and change through the rest of the week? Like, understanding the client, finding out more, and then again, creating the pathway that works for them. For guys that haven't started or do want to start or are thinking this is the time to slack off, it's not. It's the time to start now. Like, everyone else is slacking off. Get ahead of the curve. Like,
I hate the new year, new me.
Yeah, exactly.
Phrase.
Start now. Like, it doesn't matter about the new year. Like, start now, and then by the time it hits the new year, you're already in that routine, you're already in that rhythm. You're the guy going to the gym, crushing out the sessions, not looking around like lost, thinking, what do I do? You're the guy that already knows where his food is, his nutrition is, and what he's doing, and you're already planned into next year. You've already created that vision. And also, it also means that more than likely right now, say you've probably got 20 kilos to lose, okay? Probably going to take you 20 weeks. That's going to be 5 months. That's May time. Like, by the time, if you start January, it's going to be the end of May. Summer's nearly here. Like, we want to make sure that, like, if we start now and we've got 20 kilos to lose, we can be done April time. We can go for a reverse diet in May, and we can be hitting summer looking good, feeling good, with more energy, more calories to use, ready to go on that holiday. And we're already on the front foot. We're not chasing.
They've got balance.
And you've got balance. Yep. And you know where it is.
Yep. Yeah, I think I think it's a mindset shift this time of year. This is what separates the men from the boys. Like it's seeing it as a strategic challenge. And when it comes to winter, I have satisfaction knowing that other people are slacking off.
I do as well.
Yeah, like people are going home straight after work because it's dark or whatever, and but it's having that accountability system in place. That's where our coaching is, I'd say, the most efficient, and where people see the most value in it, especially at this time of year.
Yeah, those checks in place. Like, I had a client that didn't do his check-in. I messaged him and said, why was your check-in not done this week? And he was like, I was traveling for Thanksgiving. I was like, but we can still check in. Like, it doesn't take you all day to travel for Thanksgiving, and if it does, what can we do the day before? What can we do when you get there? Like, it still happens. We can still fit it in, and it's just having someone there that's going to call you out on the times when you might be slipping a little bit because of the occasion, because of you are on holiday, or because of the situation. But also knowing the client, like, if it is a big situation, they might not check in, which is fine. But again, you understand the reasons why, and you know that individual. But if it's just because I was traveling, again, we can make sure that this happens. We can make sure that we are locked in. We can make sure that you are being accountable. That's what we're here for. Like my client's wife gave birth the other day, didn't do a check-in. Fully understandable that you're not going to do a check-in on that day. Like, if you did, fair enough, mate. But I'm not going to be bringing you saying me to make sure you're doing a check-in. You've got other priorities, and
We need to let you know, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Communicated it to. That's the main thing.
Again, it's all communications, and that's what one of the biggest part of coaching is, that communication. Like, being able to speak to people, like messaging. Like, we use WhatsApp, we use Zoom. Again, speaking to our clients all the time, making sure we've got that clear lines of communication. Like, one of our biggest things that says when you first come on board the program, open and honest communication. That's what we want. Like, if you're struggling with anything, whether it's in the gym, training wise, whether it is with your nutrition, whether it is with your thought processes, whether it is with what you need to do on the actual program itself, then we'd be open, be honest, say, this is what I'm struggling with. Like, Kris, I can't do this, or I'm struggling to really do this, or I don't understand why I need to do this, or I can't do this. And let's have that discussion. Let's have that conversation. Let's find ways around it. Let's find solutions to it. Don't sit on it. If you sit on your hands, you're not going to get the results.
Yeah.
You're not going to find out.
Working in the service-based industry, it's like, it bugs me when people aren't utilizing a service that they are paying for. You're not going to get a solution from throwing money at a problem that's to do with your own body. It has to come from within. The grind, the work ethic that you put it, and the intensity that you put into yourself. It's energy creates energy, man. Yeah,
exactly. Like, we can't do the work for them, but again, like, I will map out the work, you'll map out the work, you'll say what needs to be done. That obviously each individual client has got to follow it, and that's why I love celebrating it, because it's their hard work at the end of the day. Like, we create a plan, they've got to follow the structure, they've got to follow the plan and execute that plan. If they execute that plan, they get results. That's why we're as good as we are. It's Physique Academy. We keep people accountable. We help them get results, but they've got to execute it. But again, communication helps them execute it. If you are communicating, if you're talking, being open, honest, and it's on us coaches as well to be good communicators. Like, it's on us to ask the right questions. Like, we might not be asking the right question. Ask the same question in a different way. Ask open questions where you don't give them an answer. Don't ask a yes/no question, because it closes the book. It stops.
I said this to Neil the other day, actually. I prefer at the moment, well, I have done for a while, doing more calls. We use Loom as our check-in process, but it saves you a lot, and you work around like the typical check-in question a lot better. Like I say, you can ask more open questions, and it just gives them a chance as well, because like, people at this time of year have a lot more mental fatigue. They've got more stress because Christmas is coming up. They've got presents to buy. There's more social gathering, so there's going to be more urges, temptation to go off plan. And I think that, for me anyway, just going back and forth on a quick 15-minute call provides more accountability. It's like, some people can't be asked listening to 7-8 minute voice notes. People prefer like just going back and forth about it as well.
Yeah, and again, like, even just short voice notes rather than actual written messages. I think sometimes, especially this time of year, helps just hearing someone's voice to say, what's going on? How's it going? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? And then like saying like, how do you think this next week's going to go? Like what are you going to like address in this next week to make sure we stay on track? Like, using open questions like that rather than saying, are you ready for this week? It's narrow. You don't want to narrow the window. You want to give the client the opportunity, much opportunity to express themselves in that conversation or answering that question as like possible. And like, as a coach, it's our job to understand each client individually, to be able to understand the pain points of the client, understand what makes them tick, understand how they work and what their family does around them, and how kind of their network is created around them that they function in. How can we manipulate that? Well, probably not manipulate. Like, how can we utilize that to make sure they stay on track over the Christmas period or over the Thanksgiving period or any time of year, really, holidays. Like, these are the times where people slip and slide a little bit. Like, it's just about, again, creating that balance.
What do you sort of lay out in terms of expectations for clients for the actual week of Christmas? Do they progress? Do they maintain? Is that a win?
Maintaining for me. For Christmas, Thanksgiving, just because of the stress of trying to lose weight, especially when there's more food, and also the enjoyment that people want to do with their families. Like, I do not want to take away that enjoyment. I don't want them sat there thinking and stressing about that day, about that time, thinking you should be weighing your food out, thinking you should be doing this. Like, I will give them a guide. I will tell everyone, like, can you use palm-sized portion of protein? Can you go for a fist-sized portion of carbohydrates? Can you get the rest of your plate filled up with as much coloured vegetables as you can? Or if there's only one coloured vegetable, rest of your plate, get those vegetables in there. Like, that's a principle of building a plate. It's pretty straightforward. You get a decent portion of protein. Also, if you have a palm size, if you're bigger, you generally got a bigger palm. The smaller you are, smaller your palm, works quite well, making sure you're getting getting that required protein hit. Again, you're controlling your carbohydrate intake with that fist size. Again, if you know a client's going to be having 2 meals, do you take 1 meal, the carbs away? But again, just give them guidelines for portion sizes rather than this is what you need to be doing. And again, depending on the client, you know whether they're going to go overboard, whether they're not going to go overboard.
And guidelines, like you say, because people overcomplicate things and think they need to be tracking absolutely everything. I remember Adam telling the story of this, Adam Pritchard, Coach Adam, when he was on the program working with George, and he was there with his Tupperware on Christmas Day, like, have a day off, lad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, telling your client that, again, enjoy it, like, and explaining to them what's going to happen after as well. Like, I've had clients before, probably when I first started, and like they'd weigh themselves after Christmas Day, and they'd be heavier and stuff like that, and they'd be like, should I take my calories out? Should I not eat this today? Like, I've jumped up in weight. Like, what's happened here? Like, just explaining, like, if we've eaten more food, we've eaten more carbohydrates, we're gonna get that spike in weight. Probably gonna have a bit more salty food on that day as well. Like, you are probably gonna rise in that body weight, in that water weight as well. Like, again, let's leave it a few days. Get back on track. Get back to your nutrition, your training. Like, go back into, this is what my calories were. This is where I was doing. This is the food that I was having. Yes, you've missed one day. Let's get back on track now. Like, again, as soon as we get back into that rhythm, the sooner you get back on track after that, like, mishap, whether it's a mishap or whether it's an planned meal off plan, like just like Christmas Day is, like, you will get your results faster. The longer it takes you to return back to normal, or the more you panic about it, the longer it's going to take. So again, just have that focus. Just say, right, I know what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to Christmas Day. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have fun with my family, enjoy it with my kids, whatever it is that you're doing. And then the next day, I'm going to go back to doing what I need to do, whether it is a performance phase, whether it is a deficit phase, whether it's just maintenance phase, whatever it is you're doing, your calorie wise, that's where you need to be.
And this is exactly why the longer journeys are much better, because they're learning more habitually about themselves.
Exactly. They're learning more about themselves. They're learning more about the patterns that they go through, especially at events. And again, it's why
lifestyle.
And it's why we just spoke about now is the best time of the year to start.
Yeah.
If you actually want to start, now is the best time, because it's the hardest time.
We're going to clip that up, Jake. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll clip that up, bro.
It literally is, though. Like, if you want a time to start from either in America, especially, or in the UK, when you have got a lot of parties, when you've got a lot of events, when you've got Christmas, and you want some education, this is perfect, because this is where you're going to get the most education. Also, when you do sign up for something, when you do jump into like a cut program or a weight loss training program, generally the first few weeks of that program, you have got the biggest motivation.
Yes.
Whenever you start anything new, you have got the biggest motivation. So when you've got the biggest motivation, why not combine that with the hardest time of the year? Because then you're now hitting two boxes at once. You've got the biggest drive. You've also got the biggest pull away from it. So you're now combining your biggest energy to do something with the biggest pull to not do it together. And then also combine it with a coach. Again, you're going to get those results straight away. You're going to start seeing it, and you're going to learn on the spot straight away, and it's going to help.
Yeah, like literally when people first start, again, they over complicate the starting point as well, and they think they can commit to more than what they actually can. And that's
Yeah.
where a coach with a clear mind and has worked with hundreds of clients knows exactly what that person can actually commit themselves to. Because if someone starts out right when the motivation is at the highest and they think they can sustain and commit to 6 sessions a week, when they've gone from like training like 2 or 3 days a week, just because they maybe want more out of the program or whatever, then they'll quickly realize that they can't actually commit to that long term. And then in their mind, they think, I'm failing, motivation drops, leaves the program, starts ghosting, all those sort of things start to occur. So like the first few weeks are the most important for any sort of fitness journey or any coaching program. Agreed?
Yeah, and getting it right, getting the nutrition right, getting the training right is like, you might not get it right straight away. Like you might create a training program. Like I create training programs with my clients. I'll run through it with the clients when they first come on board and everything will be good. And they'll go to the gym and they'll be like, I don't like that exercise. I don't like this. That's fine. Like I don't take offense to that. I want to be able to adapt it to you. Like I will ask them why they don't like that exercise. I'll ask them the reasons. I might get them to film doing that exercise because I might think it's a great exercise for them, or experience wise, no, it's a great bang for your buck exercise in terms of it gets results fast, it builds muscle tissue well. So or again, it burns calories well, or again, it's a great energy system developer. So again, understanding from that and then making the changes if you need to. The same with the diet. You might create a diet plan for a client based off the questionnaire that we get from them, based off your conversations with them, and there might be something missing. There might be a question that you've missed, or a question that they've missed, or something that you've not discussed. And it might be like, oh, well, I can't do this because I'm actually at work that day and we don't have this equipment, or I might be traveling on this day, what can I do here? So it's about, again, evolving that. But those first few weeks are where you refine that, where you get it better. And again, because that motivation's high, again, you utilize all that motivation, that drive, that energy to, again, keep asking these questions, keep getting those answers, keep refining that program. And then by the time you're 4 or 5 weeks in, you know where you are. You know this client can train this much. The client knows how they can train. They know how training feels. They know how it should be. Like we ask our clients for video feedback for training sessions. Like, can you film bench press from a front angle and a side angle? Sometimes a rear shot, depending on what the exercise it is. So we can video assess you. So I can assess your form and I can assess your technique and say, right, are they moving in the correct plane of motion? Are you fixed? Is your core locked? Like, is everything correct in that movement pattern? So that, again, we can refine it. Like, I'll try and get my client to send a full row of exercises at a time so I can go through it step by step. Like, normally I'll do it separate to check-in so that they've got a separate video to watch that's not all blended together. So they'll get a video analysis video, they might get a check-in video on different days. So again, it helps create that structure from the start, get-go. These are the standards, this is what we do nutrition, this is what we do training, this is how you should be moving, these are the exercises you should be doing. And then by the time we get to week 5 and 6, we're already there, we're already flying, and we're ticking all the boxes.
And people forget that things can adapt and change, like week 1, you really just setting the starting blocks, the foundation, staples.
You're setting the foundations, you're setting the standards, you're setting the starting points, and again, they might not work. What you program or what the coach programs, it might not fit you right then and there. It's the first thing, it's the first week. And again, comes back to communication. If there is an issue, if there is a problem, this is where we change it. And like, I know all the coaches in the team, we're not going to sit there like we've got egos and take offense to the fact that you do not like what we've created.
100%.
Like that you do not like your nutrition program, or you don't like what's on your nutrition program. Like if you're coming to me and telling me that I want a Mars bar and a chocolate bar every single day on my nutrition program, could we do it? Possibly, but again, we want to understand the reasons why. Like, again, if we come here for fat loss and we like what some of the foods that you want aren't on there, then there might be a reason why they're not on there. But again, let's have this discussion. But again, if it's because the foods on there don't fit your diet, or you can't cook them, or the accessibility of them, let's change it up. Let's modify it. It doesn't work with your family, for example, your wife. Okay, let's mix it up. Let's change it around. Same with the training. Like the gym might not have that bit of equipment. Okay, it might look like it has. I might have checked it. It might look like it has, or you might have thought it had, or you might say, I've got a well-equipped gym. Great. And we might have programmed it and it might not have it, right? Let's get rid of the exercise. Let's put it on. Or you might have a slight injury, slight mobility issue in your back, in your shoulder, in your chest, in your knee, whatever it may be. And you can't do a certain movement, or you can't get through a certain range of motion through a movement. All right. We can either keep it because it's still a comfortable range of motion, we're still going to get the work, or we change it because it may lead to an injury in future. But again, we can still get those results with a different exercise. There are multiple ways, multiple exercises. We can just change them and make them work.
100%. I agree, mate. I agree. Adaptability is the key word. And again, keyword communication is king. If we can't help somebody if they're silent and they don't express themselves, people just got to be honest. We're going to be honest with our clients, if we think they need to be doing something better or improve on. So it's exactly the same. It's a mutual respect. Yeah,
exactly. And we say it online, we're not a cookie cutter program. We're not a copy and paste, there's your plan, follow this will work for everyone sort of program. We are, right, this is your program. It's built around what you've said in your questionnaire, like with your nutrition, with your training program. Like, if we do need to make changes, let's make them. Whereas, for example, you can buy online plans, you can pay a monthly subscription for an app to give you a workout, but it ain't helping you, it ain't changing for you. Mm-hmm. It's just going to stay there. It's just going to be that program. Whereas we're like, let's change this, let's do this, let's do this, let's change that exercise, let's change this nutrition. This is how you fit this food into your plan, for example. This is how you manage this on this day, for example. Like, this is how you manage a meal out or an anniversary meal or kid's birthday party. Like, you want some of your kid's birthday cake? All right, your daughter wants you to have some of your birthday cake. Have some birthday cake. Like, we can work with it. We can work together. Again, let's create a plan. Let's fit it into your schedule. And again, it all works.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The last thing, mate, just before we wrap up to go over is, you've already touched on it really, the New York Summit. First and foremost, how was it? What was like the key takeaways that you got from that, from like the guys that joined? It was you and Zane. You and Zane, George went, CEO George. What were the key takeaways from that weekend, bro?
I just thought it was a great opportunity to meet clients. I had quite a few clients there as well, and just get to speak to them, get them to experience what was going on, but just to share stories as well, like between each individual client, show from starting places to where they've got to. Like, one of my clients is relatively new on the program. He was speaking to some clients there that finished phase 1. And they were heavier than him at the start, and he was unsure whether he could get to like the light weights, the weights that we discussed. But he met the people in real life that had done it. Like, he'd seen them online, but it was kind of, is this story true?
It's different, yeah.
Like, is this story true? And he got to hear it from like the horse's mouth. Yeah, you could see it face to face. You could see that visualization. But then equally, he got to hear the stories from like Zane and George as well, when they were like overweight, when they'd been overweight and like in the past, and they'd transformed themselves, and they showed him, Zane showed him photos of himself when he was overweight, when he'd just finished playing like semi-professional rugby and stuff. Yeah. Like, he got to see it firsthand, and I think that opened his eyes. And I think it happened with a lot of clients, like just the discussions that people had and how to adapt in situations in restaurants or like meeting face to face, like just the honest and openness about it, I think. And again, it comes down to that communication that we've just been speaking about, that honest, open communication. But it wasn't just between a coach and a client then, it was between multiple coaches and multiple clients, and you kind of got that collective, like the brotherhood, and people sharing stories, sharing tips, sharing tricks, sharing how they did things, what they did, how they did, like tools that they've used in the past and what helped them on their journey. And I think it all, again, combines together. Like, I have certain ways that I do things as a coach, but you'll probably have certain ways that you do things. Zane has certain ways that he does things. And I probably can take something from each one of you that I could add to my skill set or how I speak to certain clients, because I might have not have viewed it from that angle before. And vice versa, we can look at it from
different experiences, isn't it? It's like if a coach has something like a negative experience with a client, you learn. You're always learning as a coach, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. You're looking to step up, but then that was the same experience for the clients. The clients are looking to elevating in their selves.
They're picking things from other clients on the program. It's all collective, bro. Comprehensive.
Yeah. And then training in the gym with them as well, like understanding that some clients thought they were training hard and they weren't.
That's a big one. Intent.
Yeah. They thought that they were lifting as heavy as they can. They thought that they were pushing themselves, and then they realized that they weren't. Like, and that's a big thing as well. Like, understanding how hard you have to train. Like, that you can push yourself to a different level. Like, it's about that mindset that you're going in with. Like, are you going in to train with intent? I am going to lift heavy today. I'm going to lift as heavy as I can today. I'm going to push those numbers. I'm going to hit the reps, but I'm going to test myself on this weight. I'm not just going to go through the same weight I've done for weeks. I'm not going to go through the motions and say, yeah, that's the heaviest I can lift. I'm going to say, do you know what? Actually, I'm going to see if I can really do it. I'm going to see if I can really push myself. And seeing guys excel in the gym, like one of my clients, benched more than he'd ever benched in his life when he trained with us. We had one of Matt's clients come.
That's just adrenaline, that, bro.
Yeah. We had one of Matt's clients come and he literally added 20 pounds, I think, to his incline dumbbell bench press.
You would do, though, if you've got Big G standing over.
I know, yeah, screaming down you, like, come on. Yeah.
Grunted.
Doing weighted dips before. He'd never done weighted dips, and he's there doing weighted dips with like 2 45-pound plates strapped to him, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's sick.
Like, it's just, again, getting guys outside the comfort zone from that point of view, but outside the comfort zone in an environment that they feel supported in.
Yes.
Rather than just being outside the comfort zone and not knowing what's going to happen. Being outside the comfort zone in, like, I would never get someone to do a weight that I do not think they can do. But like, we'd built everyone up to the weights that they did. Like, we went through the different weights, like, yeah, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And helping them and encouraging them to do that and letting them see it for themselves, like in a supported environment with coaches that are going to help them and drive them, not just, I need you to do this, go and do it. It was like, let's try this. And again, build that confidence within them.
Sick, brother. I mean, we're coming up to time now, mate. But to finish the podcast, I always like to do, a bit of a quick fire wrap up. Have you watched some of the podcasts that I've done before?
I have, yeah.
Very good. So you know the drill, bro. So just a quick sentence or two, or 1 or 2 word answers will do the trick. Have you got like a go-to mantra for clients, or like quote of the day? Putting you on the spot there.
That is definitely putting me on the spot.
It's fine if not.
For me, go-to mantra is just open and honest.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Nike.
Just open and honest.
Yeah.
Like, open and honest with everything. In the gym, you've got to be open and honest with yourself. Like, am I lifting what I can lift? In my nutrition, I've got to be open and honest. Am I doing what I can do? Like, is everything correct? Is it not correct? Is it going to help me? And then with my coach, am I being open and honest? It applies to everything.
Best recovery tip?
Sleep.
One small daily habit which you find the most important to compound over time?
Sleep.
One piece of advice for staying consistent over the holidays?
Have a plan.
Most underrated mindset shift you see in your top clients, top transformations?
Belief.
Beautiful. Well, mate, this has been a passionate one. Thank you for coming on to the podcast.
No worries, man.
Much
Absolute pleasure.
Appreciated. It was a good chat, that. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully, guys, you found some value and insight from today's podcast. My next podcast, which will be episode 24 or 25, I've lost count, will be with Adam and Tyler, three-way podcast in a few weeks. But yeah, make sure you follow Kris on Instagram at Kris Physique Academy and the main Physique Academy page. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.